Welcome to the Big Heart Business Show. My name is Carrie Shepard, business strategist, philanthropist, and believer. I'm on a mission to help entrepreneurs be more, do more, and give more beyond their business, and to do it with more heart and less hustle. Each week on the show, I'll be here with a message or interview from a powerhouse entrepreneur that has built their business by giving back. Together, we will inspire you, fuel you, and get you going with simple action steps and strategies to grow your purpose-driven business. Our philosophy here is that we can change the world one big heart business at a time. Let's get started. This is episode number 1 of the Big Heart Business Show. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mair Millar. Mair loves helping people who help people. Her philosophy in life is all about creating win-wins and empowering others to unleash the champion within. Mair helps ambitious entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs to get super clear and confident in their business and life so that they can run a successful global business without compromising the other commitments that they have in life. Mair fully understands the demands of running an international coaching business and a youth empowerment program, all while being a strong leader for her large family. This powerhouse woman uses her coaching skills and tools to empower her own 5 children. Mair specializes in supporting entrepreneurs to get unstuck by helping them gain clarity on their niche, as well as co-creating amazing content and programs for their brand. Mair knows what it takes to be successful in business and is committed to supporting both women and men to become the person they need to be to get the results that they want. Her background in competitive sports, specifically soccer and boxing, have created the foundation of confidence that fuels her success. If you're looking for an accountability and solid guidance when it comes to leading your business to victory, then you definitely want to have Mair in your corner. Hi, Mair. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited that you're here.
Hey, Carrie. Aw, thanks. Thanks for having me here. Yeah.
As always, excellent bio. I love that it gave us so much information, not only about your amazing global business, but the fact that you have 5 children and your background in sports. And I love to start off the interview today and just kind of giving the audience the real deal background. You know, what did your journey look like to get to where you are right now?
Yeah, sure. Definitely. So let me just give you a heads up quickly. Talking about 5 children. You may hear one screaming in the background, so I just apologize if you do. He's with the nanny, but he's not feeling so great. So where did I start? I started my business really 10 years ago. I left my job 10 years ago, but it started probably 10 years before that when my brother died. And, you know, it's funny whenever I talk about my story because I have so many moving pieces to my story. But when it comes to why I started my business and why I do what I do, it really started right there when my brother died. My life changed. I saw a lot of death before I was 20, and my youngest brother was diagnosed with cancer when he was 13, and he died when he was 14. And that kind of changed my entire outlook on life. And it made me realize, you know, him and I share the almost exact same DNA. Like, how did he get sick and die and I didn't? And how did different people that I knew growing up, how did they die? People, like, I had a friend that was murdered and I was with her the night she was kidnapped. Like, I have some crazy stories and I didn't die. So it was like, I better really live my life. And so I started on the path of personal development and kind of like a spiritual enlightenment piece, because growing up, my religion was soccer, really. And so I didn't really have a strong faith. When my brother died, I didn't have a faith to, like, hold me and help me through it. So I kind of started my own journey of spirituality and diving into different religions. And I finished my degree in cultural anthropology and religious studies to, like, try and make myself feel better. I did a little bit of Scottish therapy in there too. Like, I'll be real.
Maybe tell our audience what that is in case they don't know.
Trying to drink my way through it, you know.
I'm Irish. We have that tradition as well. I know it well.
But all jokes aside, I'm Scottish, so I can call it that. But all jokes aside, it didn't work. That, like, I had to really like face what was going on, and that's when I started boxing. I started I went to a boxing club just because I was so angry and so sad and didn't know what to do with this energy. And then the athlete in me found out I could compete in boxing, and I was like, well, this is awesome. And so that's when I started boxing, started my personal journey of like healing myself. And then I just wanted to help anyone who was in pain. I had like pain dar. I saw anyone in pain and I'm like, how can I help you? How can I save you? Because my personal pain always related back to death. And so I kind of almost accidentally started coaching before I ever started coaching. And the job that I was working in my 20s, it was kind of like, it was a good paying job, but I knew it wasn't what I was meant to do. But I think I started coaching there. And I accidentally, like, I was working with all these men, and they was asked for my opinion on things. It was fun.
Don't you think that's how so many coaches, I mean, we get started because it's what we're good at and what we naturally do, right?
Totally.
And we would do it for free.
Exactly. That's what I say all the time. Like, I would do this for free. I love that I get paid to basically talk. I get paid to do what I love doing. So that's where I started. And for me, like my story takes a twist in the sense that I just wanted to save everyone. And I never really looked at it like, how can I do this as a business? I just kept giving. And there was a point where I was like, I can't keep giving and reach the goals that I want to reach. So I had to turn the ship around and turn it into an actual business. And so that's when I, my target market back in the day really was anyone. Like, that was my target market. And so that was one of my biggest aha moments, was realizing that I had to get intimate and real with who I wanted to serve. And so that clarity, I got like really clear on the foundations of my business, who I was serving and how I was helping them. That piece turned everything around for me. And then I realized that I wanted to, I didn't have to keep trying to save everyone. And it was okay to make money. I didn't have to like do it because I felt bad, or, I didn't have to be broke helping everyone else. I could be successful and be okay with that too. So that was a lesson I had to learn. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a really big lesson. I think you've hit on two really big lessons that I'd love to dive into a little bit more, because I think so many entrepreneurs deal with that, wanting to serve everybody, especially very mission driven. Our audience are big hearted, we want to save the world. What did that journey look like for you to really be able to nail and niche into your specific target market?
Well, you mean specifically with the niche, or being okay with accepting the money part? Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Yeah, let's talk about the niche first. Yeah, because I think both of them are issues that we all have at some point in time in our business. But let's first dig into kind of nailing in on that niche.
Yeah, I think the question, like the answer is it includes both, because it's about an abundant mentality, right? I had to believe there was more than enough people out there that if I did target in on one group of people, that there would be more than enough for me to have a sustainable business, right? So it was having that, again, a little bit of that money stuff that came through. Is okay to make money, and there's more than enough people that would actually buy my service or sign up for my program, kind of thing. And also I didn't want to leave anyone out. Like, my niche was just help everyone, do everything for everyone. But the game changer was go where you're wanted, not where you're needed. One of my coaches said that to me, and I was like, oh, wow.
Wow. That's a big aha. I hope our audience caught that. Go where you're wanted. No, go where you're wanted.
Not where you're needed.
Not where you're needed. Awesome.
I was busy running around trying to save people who didn't want to be saved. And they would never pay for my services. Never mind. They didn't do anything with the stuff I gave them for free. So it was just always draining me. And so I'm a big giver by nature. So I couldn't keep giving until I realized I have to replenish myself also. Mm-hmm. So I started going where people wanted my service. People would invest in themselves and invest in the service, which made it okay for me to, run my family and take care of stuff at this end so I could actually give my clients my best energy.
That's awesome. I love that so much. That's a big aha. And I love that those two things are really tied together, that it's that abundant mentality, that there's more than enough clients, there's more than enough money. And that kind of leads me into my next question, because obviously, as you shared, your business was birthed out of, an unfortunate tragedy with losing your brother.
Yep.
And you've got what it sounds like a real fire within you. And so I would love to know, what does having a purpose-driven business mean to you?
Personally, I think that if you don't have a purpose-driven business, like it makes me wonder what drives people. Like, how can you be successful if you don't have something that literally gives you that fire in your belly? It's not the easiest road to run your own business. Days get tough, and sometimes it's super easy and fun, and sometimes there's, you take some punches. And so if you don't have a real reason why you're doing it, it's easy to throw a towel in, so it's absolutely the foundation of my business. Not that I think every day when I wake up, I'm doing this for my brother. I don't function like that. As I do wake up and I say, today is a good day to be alive, so make the best of it. And, all like joking aside with my marketing, I love doing empowered marketing, but sometimes half my marketing that has brought in half my revenue in the first couple of years of business was literally a faith-driven thing. I just believed that I would literally say a little prayer and be like, hey, show me who needs my help today. And like the craziest things would happen. I'd get a call from someone I haven't talked to in years and be set up with a new discovery call and someone who wants to work with me. So it's having that faith and believing the right things will come up too. So it was like this bigger vision of what my business was about, where it was coming from, and where I was going to.
That's good. I like that. And so you mentioned, when things get tough, and, from the outside, we can kind of look at other people and we can get into that comparison and think, oh, everything is rainbows and butterflies, and they just had this success and they just popped up online and, they're making these 6 or multiple 6 figures. And I just wonder if you could share with our audience, what did that look like when there were tough times, and how did you get yourself out of that tough time or that mentality when you got there?
Sure. A big part of my coaching is the mental toughness and that inner game stuff, for sure. And I think the background in my sports has been like a great way for me to be able to provide that mental toughness for people. And so for myself, so number one, I never thought I would throw the towel in. Even on my toughest days, it's not an option to quit. There is no quit. There can be I need to walk away from it for the day. There needs to be a new solution, or I need to find a better way to do things, but there is no quit, right? So from the beginning, if I can give anyone advice in terms of how, like the mental toughness that'll get you through, is start when you're in a good place and make a commitment, make a decision that absolutely you're doing this no matter what. So I think that trumps everything else, in all honesty. Another thing is refocusing. When you get into a place where it feels like everything's so heavy, or you're having a tough day, that could be a million different things in business, really. I mean, for me, it'd be if my nanny called in sick. I'm like, oh man.
It's all relative, right?
Oh yeah. But it's finding backup plans. It's finding solutions. Like I even teach my 3-year-old knows, okay, I got to find a solution. Like that's her language she uses, so how can we find a solution? How can I make this work? Or how can I step back and let go? Control freak in me has learned to let things go. I don't get as attached. I have a lot more fun now.
That's good. Yes. Yes. Well, and I love that you bring up your kids. So let's dive into that, because as we shared in your bio, you have 5 kids, definitely a busy life. What would you say to the moms out there that also have kids? Because I know so often for moms that can, they can feel guilty for spending time in their business, or, they could use their kids as an excuse. So I'd love to hear just from your perspective on, what kind of advice or encouragement could you give to those moms that are starting out in their entrepreneurial journey? Yeah,
for sure. It's funny you say guilt. That's the number one thing I say to women who have kids. Do not have any mama guilt. Be committed to what your goals are, what your bigger vision is, and know that there may be a shorter time where you have to say no to some things so that for the grander vision, you can say yes to a lot more things with your kids. So I have 0 mama guilt. I refuse to do anything out of guilt. I refuse to feel bad about things. And I be the best I can be in that moment. You know, there really is no balance in business and babies. You just got to show up and be the best you can be. And, you know, I have a 5-month-old right now. Like, I literally haven't slept in 5 months, but you almost wouldn't guess it because my energy is always so good that, I mean, besides I probably look like I haven't slept in 5 months. I'm very
not true.
upbeat. Oh, so nice. I'm very upbeat and my energy is always on because I choose to be that way. Right. So my kids they're not excuses. Like, I don't say, oh, I have kids, I can't do it. If anything, I almost rise above because I know I'm more than just mom. You know, I love being a mom, obviously, to have 5 kids, and we might have one more. So you gotta love being a mom.
Uh-oh. Does your husband know that you want to have another one?
He's the one who wants it so bad. Oh yeah. So I'm like, maybe one more.
Oh,
might have having twins, knowing my luck.
Well, you do make cute babies, so that wouldn't be a bad thing.
Well, thank you. But yeah. So what was I saying?
Sorry, we're gonna get you off with talking about the kiddos there.
Lack of moments.
That you're more than a mom. That you love having kids. Yeah.
I have to have time for me. And I think that's where a lot of moms lose themselves. So like, I work so much in my business and I'm trying to be this great mom and I just have no me time. Like, I hear that over and over and over again. I can make that my target market probably just because there's so many women that don't create me time. Mm-hmm. And you have to do it right off the hop. You have to, that's your number one thing you schedule before even you schedule your appointments. Is schedule some downtime, some rest time, some whatever your me time looks like, whether it's workouts or walks or wine, whatever it is.
I think that could be a new program. Workouts, walks, and wine.
I'd sign up for that.
I don't have kids. Can I sign up still?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome.
And you know, it's funny. A lot of moms always say like their kids, that they're the reason that I do my business. And although I want so much for my kids, they're not my why. They're not the reason I do my business. Like, before I had kids, I knew that I had something within me that I had to be the best I could be. I had to live this purpose I had within me for the world and for myself. It wasn't just because I want to give my kids an iPad and buy the best stuff for them that I didn't have growing up. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't motivate me.
Yeah. Well, and I think it ties back to, again, you know, that focus on living every day to the fullest. So totally. That's awesome. Yeah. So if you had kind of your secrets to success, you know, I'd love for you to share that with our audience, you know, in creating this big heart business that's really purpose fueled and purpose driven. What would be some of those keys to success that you've kind of mastered?
Definitely number one is, again, making the decision. I'm deciding I'm doing this, and like, burn the bridges, burn the backup plan. If you have backup plans, you probably won't do it. If you have one foot in the water, good chance you'll abandon ship. So if you're in it to really do this, get committed as soon as possible. And then get connected and be consistent. Okay, so connect yourself with the right people, surround yourself with the right people, get a coach, get a mentor, get a mastermind partner, get in communities. But you want to collaborate, get connected, have a community, lots of all these C words, it's hilarious. But like, have that consistency every day, do something. You don't have to build Rome in a day, but you got to take a brick at a time. And then you got to take another brick the next day. You can't like take a week off, just like training, right? Like, I couldn't work out for 8 hours once a month. It just doesn't make sense. It'd have to be every day for 2 or 3 hours, or however many hours you work out for. That was what my training was like. So
you were hardcore.
is what, you know, and I think most people know this, but it's not beating yourself up when you step out of the consistency, not having the judgment on yourself, especially if you're a mom, not having the guilt that kicks in. It's like, let that shit go real quick and step into it again today. What can I do right now? And how can I take everything and look forward? It's too easy to get distracted by like shiny object syndrome, in my opinion, in our society. And it's too easy to look back at what we didn't do or be hard on ourselves for like perfectionistic stuff. So my whole thing is stop and breathe and look forward and say, what is it that I want? That was another huge thing for me growing up. I have 3 brothers, and I always heard, we'll get you what you need, not what you want. And my parents always provided for us and everything, but I didn't think it was okay to want things. Like subconsciously, it was almost bad to want things. So I either didn't ever get real with the things I wanted, or I would start to create things and it was like I would give it away. Like I felt bad having great things. Right. So I had to kind of retrain my brain to say it's okay to want things. You know, your family's not going to disown you. You don't look greedy. You're not, you know, think you're better than other people. Now it's like get clarity on what you want and then focus on that. Don't focus on what you don't want. If you want,
flipping the script. So you're focusing on the positive things rather than
totally
focusing on what you don't want. I think that's a really great takeaway for our audience for sure.
And you know what? That works well with kids too. Just, I'm going to plug that in right now. I don't tell my kids, if my kids don't kick me, but let's just say one of my children kicking me. I wouldn't say stop kicking me, don't kick me. Because the child actually doesn't hear don't kick me. They just hear kick me. So they keep doing the act. So instead you say what you want them to do. You know, I want you to stand still. I want you to go sit over there. You get them to do the thing they want to do, not don't do the thing I don't want you to do. Don't think of an elephant. We're all going to think of an elephant, right? Same thing in parenting, same thing in coaching and running your business. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
Yeah. And I always say, you know, your words create your world. So what you're talking, you know, the words that are coming out of your mouth are so important. And I think once people really start to kind of pay attention to those words and really focus on that, it can really change the results that you're getting. So I love that you talk about the 3 keys that I got from what you were saying was make a decision. So don't have backup plans, make that decision, and then get connected. So get into community, get with a mentor or a coach, you know, something like that for that support. And then number 3, you said be consistent. And so I would love to know, are there a few things or a couple things that you could recommend that our audience kind of focuses on a daily basis to get that consistency?
Sure. Yeah. I used to have a lot of people. So when I first started coaching, I was more of health coaching just because of my background in sports. And I quickly shifted into the confidence coaching, empowerment coaching for business. And so I'd have people call me and say, Mair, what's the best time of the day to work out? And I was like, what time will you work out? That was my answer. Because whether it was 5 a.m. in the morning or 12 at night, if you're not going to do it at the time I suggest, it doesn't matter what time it is. So in saying that, I do suggest you have a really great morning routine. Whatever time the morning is for you, like if you can get up between 5 and 6, awesome. If you don't sleep at night because you're breastfeeding, maybe your schedule might change a little bit like mine, but still when you wake up, still create some space for yourself. I still, with my kids, have space for myself in the morning and focus on my intention. What am I focusing on today? What's my intention for the day? What am I creating? What's my one main thing I'm going to finish today? Not my to-do list. Because my to-do list is from here to China with 5 kids, okay, and a business. But what's my intention for the day? So I'd say that's the number one thing. If you get consistent at looking at what you're focusing on, that's the game changer, first of all. Another thing is tracking. If you want to lose weight, track what you eat, track your movement. If you want to gain like more money or success or clients in your business, start tracking how many calls you have, how much money you're bringing in, like know your numbers. So consistently know them. Don't check it once a month, check it daily. So I think those are the top 2 things I'd say. I mean, there's probably a handful more I can give you, but.
Yeah, no, I think those are great. I love the morning routine. We talk a lot about that in my community. And then, knowing your numbers. And, I think, again, what you focus on grows, right? So if you're focused on those connections and those calls and bringing in the revenue, that's what's going to be super important. So I'd love to kind of transition into, so this podcast is obviously called the Big Heart Business Show. And what I really want to do on this show is I really want to talk more about what making a difference and what making an impact looks like. And whether that's through charities that you give money to, or charities or nonprofits that you donate your time to, or I know because we are friends also, I know that you have a heart to actually start your own charities. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what your give back kind of plan looks like in your business.
Sure. Yeah, it's exciting. So first, where I kind of like give my money to are the top 2 that are kind of like close to my heart is Make-A-Wish Foundation. Because when my brother was sick, they gave him any wish he wanted, and he asked for our family to go to Scotland, because we're all from Scotland, and asked for us to go there for Christmas. So they paid for 6 of us to go to Scotland and paid for like everything. It was amazing for him. So for all of us, but for him to get that wish. So I give to Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I give to sick kids. Although I don't like the name, tell you the truth, I would love it to be like the Hospital of Little Champs or something. I give to sick kids. So that's where he died, in Sick Kids in Toronto. And I got some heartstrings pulling for that place. So that's kind of where my money goes. In terms of a charity or foundation, we've already created an idea a number of years ago. It just hasn't come to full. We haven't birthed it yet, but it's on its way. It's about in the ninth trimester. It's called Bearing Hope. And really, my brother had this bear. And so we were going to kind of replicate this bear. And my oldest daughter, when she was a little bit younger, she came up with the idea of, why don't we send this bear around to all these kids who have cancer, and they can share their story, and we can write a book, and we can make it in Ian's name, and all this stuff. And I thought, that sounds good, but we can't send a bear around. It's not like hygienic to keep passing it from each kid. But maybe we can get a bear made, and each kid will get a bear. And I remember when my brother was sick, someone did what's it called? Like a fundraiser for my family. And they gave my brother a check for $10,000. And I thought, my parents were okay at the time. So my brother actually got to use that money in the last year of his life. But some families need that money. Like parking's like $25 a day at, sick kids. And one parent usually takes a year off work. And it's financially, it's a burden when you have, it's stressful when you have a child that's not well. So I thought, what if Bearing Hope could be the child gets a bear and the family gets a check for about 10 grand.
Wow.
So that's what I want to create. And I thought I could pay that. I could do it every month out of my own pocket. And even if I don't know who else is going to contribute to it, that's going to be my goal. Start out with I don't know, 1 a month or so many a year, and then get people to contribute. So
that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
What a amazing organization to build to remember your brother and to make such a big difference. That's awesome. So well, definitely let us know when you open that up so we can get our audience to contribute and connect with you.
Oh, thanks.
Yes,
I will.
For sure. So one of the things that I hear a lot of, especially newer entrepreneurs, talk about is this idea that I'll start giving more when I make more. They'll start, getting involved in a charity, or they'll start giving money when they get to that, elusive 10 grand a month or 6 figures or something like that. And so I'd love to just hear, what are your thoughts about that? And what would you tell somebody if they were saying that to you right now?
I think it's a good driving point. I think if you have a bigger vision to say, I want to give X amount to a charity or start my own foundation, that it might give you some, it might inspire you, it might motivate you to get there quicker. Some people are afraid to make money because they have fear of people judging them, that they're just going to make money. But if you have I'm going to make money and I'm going to disperse it this way, I'm going to give, then I think that's okay. But definitely you can start much sooner. You don't have to give $1 million to make a difference. And you don't always have to give to charities that you don't know or aren't connected to, but find something that makes you kind of tick. There's crazy energy in giving, and it doesn't always have to be money either. I actually give at least once a month. I'll give about 10 hours not 10 hours, ends up being about 6 hours of just, I call it my breakthrough coaching session, just to give them another set of eyes and be let me look at what you have going on, and I'm just going to give you crazy ideas. Just take it and run. So I don't ask for anything for that. I'm not selling anything to them, but it's so rewarding to give and not ask for anything in return. So you can start that before you're making money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's the thing too, that I just want people to know too. It can be your time and or your resources that can really make that big difference. So when you think about the difference that you want to make through the work that you do and the charities that you give to and the charity you're going to open, what is the big change that you want to make in the world?
Ooh, good question. I used to think I'm such an outgoing person, but I don't always like the spotlight on me. And I used to think I want to change the world, but then I was maybe I won't change the world. Like maybe I have to get into reality. Maybe I can't change the world, or I don't want all eyes on me to change the world. But I thought, let's just get down to like, be a little more realistic with it. Maybe I can help one other person, and that person can go on to change the world. Maybe I can help 5 people who can then, the ripple effect kind of thing. Right. So it's not so much, how much I have to do, or the biggest thing the big impact I have to make in the world, as it is, if I get into reality with taking baby steps and making smaller changes, to me, I feel like it's only compounded. It's only going to mean like huge ripples and waves in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's an author, Andy Andrews, and he talks about that as like the butterfly effect. We flap our wings and it makes that, affects,
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Well, I'd love to just transition into our lightning round. So I'm going to ask you just a few questions, and you can just give me one or two quick answers on it. Okay. So first one is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
2 pieces. One is go where you're wanted, not where you're needed. And the other one was mind your own business. Honestly, best thing I ever heard. I was like, oh, okay, I like that. Don't get caught up in drama. Mind your own damn business. Awesome. Good.
Oh, easy, simple. Yeah. And number 2, what is your favorite quote or mantra?
Oh, There's so many for me, but I feel like since I've had babies, I don't remember things that much. I'm just being honest. I don't really have quotes that I use all the time, but one that just kind of came to me, and I used to say this all the time, especially after I've seen a lot of death, was this too shall pass. Mm-hmm. And everything does kind of get better. Everything does kind of get easier, and everything does kind of heal, even though there could be broken pieces within you. Life is okay. So it is that piece of this too shall pass. And every once in a while, I say this to my kids too. It's like, I'm going to steal Marie Forleo's, everything is figure outable.
That's a good one.
Don't stress about it. We'll figure it out. We'll find a solution and just keep moving.
Love it.
So, yeah.
And then lastly, what is one book that you would recommend to our audience, and why?
Good one. So many books. Okay. So I'm going to say I was never really spiritual religious. I kind of talked about that, but there's a lot of woohoo in business. And if you can tap into it, maybe not woohoo, but having faith in business. And for me, one of the books that I really liked was Leveraging the Universe. And that book just reminds me to stop and look at what I actually want, right? It's that piece for me again, like, what are you wanting, and what can you do? What's the best you can do to achieve this? And who else is in your corner, kind of thing? What angels or God or a superpower is looking out for you and saying, this could happen, this could happen. All these things could happen to make this result happen. So I had some actual personal experiences of those things happen, like really cool stories of me going towards a goal, and then things that I could never have imagined happened to make that goal come true. And I was like, wow, this stuff makes sense. So Leveraging the Universe and Engaging in the Magic by Mike Dooley.
Okay. Awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Mair, I just want to, before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you so much for being our first official guest on the Big Heart Business Show. I really appreciate you sharing everything with us today. And I just, I love your heart and your drive for really making a difference and a change out there in the world. And I appreciate you sharing, your journey with us and giving such great practical advice to our audience. And so one of the things about this show is really getting into action to make a difference. And so I'd love to just wrap up with, what's the one thing that you would suggest our audience do to get into action today?
To get into action today. I think it depends where you're at in your business, but I think sometimes it's easy to get caught in the bigger picture, and it's easy to get caught in making lists of things you have to do and talking about the things you have to do instead of doing the do. I think that just sometimes stopping and asking yourself, what is the next step? Especially if you have lots going on, if you have a huge to-do list, you have lots of kids, or you're crazy like me or something. Like, what is the next step that I have to take right now that's going to bring me closer to my goal, or a money-making activity specifically that's going to bring me closer to my goal so that I can, bring in more money, so I can get more support, so I can give more, that kind of thing. So the next step, I think, would be the action step. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, great. Well, we'll list all of the resources that you've mentioned today in the show notes, as well as all the contact information. But just for the audience today, where's the best place that they can get in touch with you and get connected?
Come on over. Come to my house. Come for wine. Probably go to mairmillar.com.
Okay.
You can email me or just go there. You'll find out all fun stuff there. And you can always find me on Facebook also.
Okay, wonderful. We will make sure everybody knows where to find you. Again, thank you so much. And thank you to our audience for listening today. We hope that this has inspired you and will help you grow your big heart business. We'll see you on the next show. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Big Heart Business Show. If you know someone that could benefit from this information, I would so appreciate it if you shared the love. And make sure to subscribe to this channel and leave a review. One last thing, if you're ready to fuel your big heart business with a consistent flow of cash and clients, head on over to carrieshepherd.com/free gift to access a very special video series I created just for you. And don't forget, we are changing the world one big heart business at a time.